and melt your cold, cold heart.
Why can't I free your doubtful mind and melt your evergreen tree, my dear? Why is that wrong? Because evergreen tree, my dear, doesn't rhyme with apart, and it's not the title.
I don't really think there's any big secret to what I'm doing. I'm giving people structure. I'm giving them time limits. But those structures in the end turn out to be the thing that is very much generative of creativity itself.
It's one thing to come up with an idea or intend to do something, but to actually have the courage to hit that send button and then move on, I think that is a key component for me.
But make sure again that your title is easily rhymable.
Peter's techniques work. Peter's techniques break the ice almost immediately and then just keep breaking it.
I give people the opportunity to create this intense sense of it is now, it is the 11th hour, now is the time. I also give them a lot of ways to change their thinking, to think in a new way, to look at a common thing like a pencil, and all of a sudden that pencil becomes sort of subatomic. You're looking at the quarks, and you're looking at the people that harvest the wood, and you're looking at the faces of the wood cutters.
I think that the act of creating a song and the act of seeing it happen right away is a metaphor for their idea moving through the system. So for us, the bottom line is lots of ideas floating around. We need people who have the courage to move it through the system. We need people who have the ability to perceive those alternative realities, to think of the world as what it could be rather than what it is. And I think that was the magic that you brought to our MySpark events. You were teaching people about what it could be.
Don't think you can skirt the structure and go, yes, I've made up my own form. It's this obtuse thing. It's like a airplane engineer makes this great riveted wing, perfectly aerodynamic, and then he goes, I'm going to get creative and make a turkey wing, feather wing, because everyone on the plane will die.
And it's amazing what Peter Hillman pulls out of you. You get your responses, get your feelings going, get the words out, and you can be creative, and then to end up with writing a song, it was just fantastic.
We're trying to figure out what it was like when your partner was
One of the things that I have people do is write a letter to somebody that they love. And it's after sort of telling a transparent story about my own life, a song that I had written for my dad when he was dying of cancer, and everyone expected that I'd write something very funny. But in fact, it was very direct, and that expression of love that I had for my father, it really opened up a lot of doors for me that were incredibly significant. Not only the fact that it bound my father and I together in an indelibly close way, but it also opened up the pathway for me to get a major record deal.
What I want you to do right now, I may be the only person today asking you to take out your iPhone and insisting that you turn it on. I want you to take 1 minute and 45 seconds right now to write a letter to somebody that you love.
It made me think about things that I hadn't before, and really trying to shut down my left brain and be more creative from my right brain.
Who wrote Daddy's Baby Girl?
Daddy's Baby Girl! Everybody sing! Baby Girl!
But we found with you, Peter, this is an experience that people are going to remember for a long time, because it wasn't just what they heard, it was what they felt. People really found that they were given this task they probably thought they could never do. How many of them had ever written a song before? Yet they found under those constraints that they could do that. And for us, it was a powerful metaphor because they're faced with those constraints every day. We had over 900 people there, store managers from around the country. And I believe this is probably the toughest job in our company. They're running multi-million-dollar businesses. They have dozens of people reporting to them. They have all kinds of constraints they have to operate every day, but still deliver an incredible customer experience. So I think that metaphor is powerful for them, that they were able to go back and remember that despite the constraints, that despite the tension on the bow and arrow, I can actually deliver great results under that I can do more than what I thought I could do.
They make you feel warm in the winter.
As a songwriter and a composer, there have been so many times in my life where I'm really challenged to sort of dip into the deepest possible well of my own creativity, but the time clock is ticking. People need it now. You would think that would be very inhibitive, but in fact, I've found it is that pressure which really generates the best of what I have to offer. And I simply, the book that I have is a compendium of all these different ideas that have helped me, especially in times where I was under pressure.